We're down at EAG's workshop and we're just about to start dismantling the 599 so we can get this 6-speed gated transmission installed. Pretty excited, and I hope you can stick with me for the journey. Today we're starting off with pulling out the interior and getting everything ready on the inside of the vehicle. So let's get across and see how that goes on, and you'll see me probably put my hand to a few things here. So join me now for the start of this journey, and hopefully, so by the end of the week, we'll probably be driving this car with a stick shift. So I'm excited. Let's get on with it.
So this is just a little bit of a tour of EAG's workshop, their manufacturing facility. This is their CNC machine. It's a 5-axis machine, and they do a lot of manufacturing in-house for the parts. Here you can see it's milling a part for the actual conversion kits. We're going about to take the interior out, and the floor's been taken out to get access to the ECUs which need programming for the actual gated stick shift. The computers need reprogramming for that. So here they've taken out the floors to get access to the computers. Now they've started undoing the bolts for the seats, because both the seats need to come out. So the front bolts are being undone here, and here's the rear bolts are being undone for the seats. Now we'll see that, you know, the passenger seat is coming out, and after unplugging all the electricals, and the same here again on the driver's side, the actual seat is coming out, and we need access to the inside, and I'll show you in a second in the next clip why do we need to get the seats coming out of the car. So here we are, the seats are now out, and you can see the center console is also out. We need to get access to the center, obviously, and you can't get access to the center without the seats being out. Here we're now lifting the car ready to start stripping underneath and getting the transmission out. Here you can see me undoing the under panels, and again the under panels coming off ready so we can take the parts down from the car. We're undoing all the major cross members so we can get access to the transmission and the transmission tunnel, which all needs to come out to do this conversion. Here you can see Art stripping down the selector rods from the F1 system and draining the gearbox oil or the transmission oil, getting it ready to bring it out of the car. They're now working on removing the selector rod, which is operated by hydraulics. Here you can see Art taking off the actual selector mechanism, which actually changes the physical gears. And this is the inside of where the gears change. This is the whole F1 hydraulic system coming out of the vehicle. This is going to be thrown away, not going to be used. It actually puts about 20 kilos off in terms of lightness of the vehicle, makes it a lot lighter. And here it is going into the actual body bag for the F1 system. But, you know, really it's just stopping all the oil from leaking everywhere. Now I'm really glad this has happened, because this F1 system was already leaking as part of its maintenance, so this coming out is just perfect. I don't need to repair it. I can only imagine how expensive it is to repair to get all the seals done. I think $8,000 to $10,000. But there you go, it's in its little box ready for the dumpster. So here now the transmission with the transmission tunnel is coming out with the front bell housing. They've done all the bolts, and we're going to be changing the clutch as well, transmission mounts, engine mounts, thrust bearing, and we're going to use upgraded parts to actually make this a better car. Now some of these things needed to be done anyway under the maintenance, meaning the engine mounts were already blown, the trans mounts were already blown. So, you know, this car was severely lacking of deferred maintenance. So, this, you know, by the time we got this car finished, it's in really, really good condition, mechanical condition. And there we got the transmission being moved out of the way, because there's a lot of prep underneath to be done. And there's also work to be done on the transmission outside. All the parts are going to be fitted while the transmission's out before it gets put back into position in the car. This is an amazing process. You know, I was so privileged to be here to be able to see this happen. This is my old clutch, which will be coming out. And here you've got the boys, you know, getting the under panels taken away so they can get access to where they need to drill the holes for the actual cables to come back to the gearbox or the transmission. Here's Art drilling the hole to actually allow the cables to go through to the backs of the transmission, and he uses a drill with a drill bit to actually do that. It's quite an interesting process. It's not particularly difficult, but you know, you have to be brave. You know, chopping up a Ferrari is not for the faint-hearted. Certainly not me anyway. And I sort of, you know, well, I gotta say, I just, you know, hats off to these guys who invented this methodology. But I guess once you've done a few of these, you know, it's pretty simple. But hey, you know, there's a piece of my car coming out in a circle, and would I chop up a Ferrari? Probably not, but hey, it's part of the process. So we are back on the inside. Some of the electronics have to be moved out of the way, because once you've got a manual shifter in place, there's some modules here which are in the way of the cables and the actual gear linkage, and Art's doing all the wiring for that. Here now, the center consoles, the original center console gets modified for the new carbon insert, which will then take the gated 6-speed shifter mechanism. And you know, you got one of Art's colleagues here cutting all the console away. Again, not something I'd want to do on my own, because you mess that up, you know, you're not going to easily find a console. Now, one of the things about EAG, they don't just take the parts out and put it back, they clean everything up inside out. They're amazing at doing what they do. So this is really cool. Now, this is Art having to modify the selector mechanism so they can take the cables. And here's one of Josh down at the EAG cleaning it up, and Art now putting in a new thrust bearing, and it's an upgraded thrust bearing from Hills Engineering. You can put the standard Ferrari thrust bearing in, but this one actually is going to be a little bit stronger. So they put an upgraded thrust bearing in along with a brand new clutch. And the thing is, if you're going to do this upgrade, always change the clutch, you know, regardless of how young it is, because taking all this out to change your clutch later on, it's just, you might as well do it while it's out, save the labor. So it's pretty cool, pretty cool. Here's that actual thrust bearing going back in. It's quite a nice piece of engineering by Hills Engineering. So really, you know, appreciate him smacking that piece in, but you know, really appreciate this upgrade, because it just means it's going to last longer. The main thing about this is the seals are going to last longer than the original Ferrari OEM version. So Hills Engineering, a famous engineering company in the Ferrari world, based out in the UK, and they create a whole bunch of upgraded parts for Ferraris. Here are the pedals. My pedal's going to be carbon printed, and this is the underside ready, you know, for the remarrying of the gearbox tunnel. This is the new mechanism and new engine transmission mounts, and this is actually all back in. Now, I wasn't able to stay there so all the time for the job to be finished. So the selector mechanism is now installed, and here you've got all the gears working, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. It's a brief insight. Let's go and see how this thing runs. Okay people, hope you enjoyed that. That's a bit of an insight into what it takes to convert a F1 gearboxed Ferrari, and in this case the 599, how to convert it, what it takes to actually convert one into a manual stick shift. That was an awesome drive, back roads of Northern California in the North
today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's pretty cool. The car is excellent. Stay with me and join me on the next part of my journey. I've got a bit of interior work to do on this car. I've got a new reconditioned dashboard, new leather on it, etc. I'm going to have the interior of this beige inside the car. It's fading a little bit through UV fading. I think it's been outside in the sun. Got my project, got a sponsorship on an exhaust system. I went after this exhaust system and the company kindly sponsored me, and there's going to be a competition on the exhaust system, providing some giveaways on the exhaust. And then I've also got another sponsorship. I'm going to be doing something with the wheels. Anyway, this is Mickey, Mr. India. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate my audience overseas, particularly India. And I'll see you next time on the next video. And thanks for watching, and I really appreciate you all. Thank you. Bye.